Okay, in this part of the topic we'll be multiplying fractions. So first of all, we're going to start using English words, and we're going to be writing it in sentences, and then we'll be translating that into algebraic form or into symbols. Say for example, if I have 2/3 of say 4/5 is what? What does that mean? Well, in English, this simply means of and is simple words, but in maths, this word here, of, here, let me put that in red, of indicates multiplication. Okay, and P and the next word is means equal. Okay, so we can translate this to symbols now. This translated to symbols will be 2/3 times 4/5 equals times the equals 4 times for multiplication. Okay, because we are using computers to type our stuff, we may use the dot like in that format. We may use the asterisk to represent multiplication, or the symbol multiplication that way. But we must be careful with this symbol here, because in algebra we may have x's. So for right now we're going to be using the dot and or the asterisk, but you will know because this means multiplication. Okay, so when we do that, what do? We'll simply say 2 times 4, which is 8, 3 times 5, which is 15. That is then our product. This is our product given the two fractions. Okay, so that's how we do the multiplication of two fractions. Now once you end up with this, can you do anything else? Well, recall the equivalent fractions. Can they be reduced? No, in this case they cannot be reduced. Alright, so therefore it must stay that way. So when multiplying two fractions, multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. Simplify the result if possible. Okay, so let's try some other examples. Examples now. Let's say we have 1/3 times 1/6. That is equals to what? Well, 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 6, that's 18. We end up with that. That's our solution. So a little bit more. Make that 3 a little bit clearer. Make this 6 bigger, and we end up with 18. First example. And next example, say we have 2/5 times 3/4. 2 times 3 will give us 6. 5 times 4 will give us 20. Do we leave our answer this way? No, you cannot leave your answer this way. Leave your answer this way, it is not wrong, the steps are simply incomplete. Why? Because we have the concept of equivalent fractions. So therefore we must simplify this in its lowest term. When we do that, we take the 6 and we expand it out and we say 2 times 3, and the 20 is actually 2 times 10. That gives us now a result of, well, cancelling the 2's, giving us 3/10. That's our solution. Okay, so when you multiply two fractions and they can be reduced to lowest term or simplified, in other words, go ahead and simplify them, otherwise it is incomplete. Okay, so that's for multiplication of fractions. Let's go with a few more examples. At times we will not be using this symbol to represent multiplication. I may simply tell you multiply, and we write the two fractions. Say for example we have 1/4 times 1/5. That means multiplication. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, you can have it in a different way. These are two fractions. What happens when we have we have a positive and a negative fraction? Say 2/3 times negative 5 sevenths. Well, we have a positive times a negative. A positive times a negative will give us a negative, so we do that. 2 times 5, that's 10. 3 times 7, that's 21. Can it be reduced? No, so that's your solution. So this is our solution, this is our solution. Okay, now can we multiply two negatives? Let's try it out. Consider that we have now negative 5 sevenths and we have 2 thirds negative. You may use brackets here or not. This means multiplication. A negative times a negative will give us a positive, so that's understood. You don't have to put a positive sign. So 2 times 5 gives us 10. 3 times 7 gives us 21. That's our solution. Note the difference here. We have one negative being multiplied, so we have a negative. Two negatives gives us back a positive. Okay, now consider that we have a different approach. We have 2 thirds times 5. 5 is a whole number, but we know that a whole number could be written with a denominator of 1, so this is actually 2 thirds times 5 over 1, which is equals 2 times 5 gives us 10. 3 times 1 gives us 3. That is our solution. So if we have a whole number, put that whole number over 1 to avoid any confusion that we may encounter in that form. Okay,